Episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard have been pulled from TV land. Of course, they're doing it because of their use of the Confederate flag in the show. Also, there's the famous car called the General Lee with a Confederate flag on top of it. It's another one of the main reasons they're getting rid of it. Warner Brothers announced last week that it would stop selling Dukes of Hazzard merchandise as well. Now, this is along with Apple had pulled all their games that had a Confederate flag in them. Now, they've since reversed that decision because everybody was like, what the fuck are you doing? But companies like Amazon and eBay also stopped selling Confederate flag merchandise. I think many more companies as well decided they're going to stay away from that completely, and they're not selling Confederate flags anymore. Look, I have to say, man, speaking as somebody who in America is considered a strong progressive, I always say internationally I'm a centrist. But in America, I appear to be progressive because the spectrum in America is all fucked up. But either way, I must say, yeah, we've gone too far. We have gone too far. Look, there's a big difference between the Confederate flag flying at a state capital, which is wrong, of course, because black people pay taxes. They're funding state public land. They're funding the state capital. And flying on that property is a symbol of their great-great-grandparents' oppression and slavery. Of course you get rid of it there. There's no question you get rid of Confederate flags on public property. But do we live in a free country where you should be able to own a Confederate flag privately? Of course. Of course. In fact, I said it before, I'll say it again. I am in favor of all the idiots in the country who are pro-Nazi, pro-ISIS, pro-whatever. Fly the fucking flag. Fly the flag so we know where you are. Fly the flag so law enforcement is clear. Fly the flag so that we know how to stay away from the morons. Because you're saying, I'm a fucking moron if you're flying a Nazi flag or a Confederate flag or whatever. Okay, so if it's private property, everybody's got to defend the right for people to, because then where does it end? Any private property that offends anybody else needs to be taken down. Well, fuck, I'm an atheist. There's some atheist symbols. If I was flying some sort of atheist flag, plenty of people would be offended by that. Take it down, I don't like it. Fuck off, free country, asshole. So by the same token, of course somebody who's a pro-Confederate or whatever should be able to fly that flag. Again, you have to be able to make a distinction, and I think the overwhelming majority of you can, between private property and public property. If it's private, there is no fucking mob coming for you with torches and pitchforks where they're saying, oh, stop with the Confederate flag even if you own it privately. No, you get to fucking fly it wherever you want. We're going to judge you based on it. We're going to call you an idiot because you are an idiot, okay? But you're still allowed to do it. That's what free speech is all about. And pulling the Dukes of Hazzard, I mean, dude, we're talking about, we live in a country and we live in a world now where there are movies all the time coming out where there is murder depicted in a movie. There's genocide depicted in a movie. There's rape, shown in a movie. All this stuff does not mean you're actually pro that thing. It's not like Rambo was actually a murderer. Sorry to break it to you, for those of you who don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't really a machine. Sorry, guys. So why is it that when it comes to art, some things that are controversial, you get a pass completely? It's controversial, but we understand it's art, so you get a fucking free pass. But what, now the Confederate flag is the one thing that's so fucking sacrosanct, you can't have that on TV, even in context, in an old show that's not, openly saying, let's bring back slavery or some shit like that. Of course they're not saying that. Should we not, Django Unchained, should we get rid of that movie because there's slavery depicted in it? They say the N-word a lot, get rid of it, ban it, I'm offended. No. See, the problem isn't even necessarily the PC police. The problem is that companies are afraid that the PC police is going further than they actually are. I don't doubt that there are a very tiny percentage of uber progressives who are saying, yeah, get rid of the Confederate flag on private property, get rid of the Dukes of Hazzard and shit like that. But that number is so fucking tiny as to be irrelevant in the grander scheme of things. The problem is really that companies want to get these brownie points from society. So what do? They say, oh, people are not liking the Confederate flag right now. They're taking it down from the state houses. So why don't we get brownie points on this and we'll stop selling video games that have the Confederate flag in there, and we'll stop selling it on Amazon, and we'll stop showing the Dukes of Hazzard. But you went too fucking far. Nobody asked you to get rid of those shows. And whoever did, it's a very tiny number, and they're irrelevant, and they have tyrannical impulses in asking you to do that. You got to be nuanced. You got to be open-minded. You got to realize that just because something's bad doesn't mean ban it, ban it. That's the same kind of thinking that leads to things like the drug war. Crystal meth is bad. Ban it, ban it. Maybe there's a more nuanced approach. Maybe there's a more open-minded approach. Maybe there's an approach that's more based on freedom and liberty and one that we can actually please everybody, like with the Confederate flag, take it down from the State House, put a stigma on it socially, but of course privately people should be able to have it, and you shouldn't pull down TV shows because they have the Confederate flag in it, because what the fuck is next? Get rid of Schindler's List. There's Nazi imagery in it. Get rid of any movie that depicts slavery. Get rid of anything that offends anybody. I don't want to live in that country, and neither do you, whether or not you realize it.